Let's talk about engagement with regards to participation. I think that participation really is the key to engagement. In fact, I like to say that participation is the currency of engagement. And the reason for that is, if you think about engagement, it's a bond that is created between two people, whether two individuals or an organization and its customers or employees, etc. That bond is created over time, and the way that it's done is through people engaging with one another. But the act of that engagement is in the moment of participation. So engagement is a broader term, participation is a more narrow, more defined term. When it comes to participation, people often tend to overestimate how much people will participate, and generally scores are that people participate lower than they were hoping. So it's interesting that on post-event surveys, for instance, normally people get about a 20% participation rate on filling in responses. Local councils can expect sometimes maybe only a 20% engagement rate throughout a whole population for something that really is a citywide event. Participation rates can be very, very low. So how do we go about increasing participation? Because if we want to increase engagement, really we want to think about increasing participation. So in order to avoid this ditch of the overestimation of participation, how do we pitch participation in a way that people can interact and participate effectively and for our benefit and for their benefit? So how does that work? Well, I like to think about it on three levels. So there are three metaphors, pictures that I like to use. They're buttons, dots, and containers. I'll flesh this out now. So a button, what do you do with a button? Well, you push it. There's only one thing you can do with a button, which is push it, or you can not push it. There is only one action, or the other action is to ignore doing the action. So when it comes to low levels of participation, what often works is providing someone with a button that they can push. You'll see this at events, for instance. A speaker will say, how many of you here remember what you ate for lunch last Tuesday? And people put their hand up, and that's a button. That call to response, that call to action is a button. We can either put our hand up and say, yes, I do remember, or leave our hand down and say, no, I do not. A sales proposition is essentially a big button. It's a way of framing this button so that it's attractive, and I want you to say, yes, I will buy, or the other option is you say, no, I don't. But what often happens is we tend to get a little bit messy, and so let's say someone's framing a sales proposition. They put the pitch out there. The answer to the pitch should be yes, but instead the answer is, oh, I'm not sure because there's this and this option, and what about this and what about that? And then we begin to get foggy and it gets messy, and participation begins to decrease because it's not simple. Now, wisdom often says, well, don't ask closed questions, ask open questions. But for getting people in the door, getting people to begin to participate, buttons are a great way of doing it. And I don't mean literally buttons, but of course that mindset. So next time you're putting out a bit of copy, a bit of messaging, you're running an event, you're wanting to get people to participate, think, am I presenting a button that gives people a chance to say yes or no? It's going to be as simple as that, yes or no. The next level of participation are dots. And if we think back to our childhood, what do we do with dots? Well, we join the dots, right? And joining dots is essentially a series of joining lots of yes, no buttons to create a larger picture. And that's what dots are. They are a series, they are a journey. So if you sign up to a new internet service, like a new SaaS service, a new app or something, you'll often find they take you along a user journey, a way of onboarding you. Well, that is a series of dots. And the apps that are really good at it make it very, very obvious what you do from one step to the other, and they show you that you are progressing along a journey. Very famously, actually, on this, in the book Switch by Chip and Dan Heath, they cite a study where people will be more encouraged to go along a journey if they know that they've already started it. So when we think about dots, that's about creating a journey that people go on. They know where they're going to get to, they know what they've already done, and therefore they are motivated to continue along this journey. So that's dots. The final one is containers. What do you do with a container? Well, you fill it with whatever you want. That's the thing with a container. A container is saying, these are the boundaries, now go away and fill this thing. This is the highest level of engagement. It's where we are empowering people to do whatever they want within certain confines. And those confines are necessary because people need them to know where we're thinking. If I say, well, just go and do what you want, it might have no relevance at all to the project that we're doing and therefore not be helpful to them and not be helpful to us. Now, what I normally find with participation is people, they start off trying to get people to fill the container. So here's an example. At a meeting for a community organization, and they will say to their members, what do you here want the future of this organization to be? And it'll be silent. Now, why is it silent? Well, first of all, it's silent because people are afraid to speak up. So there's a sense of anti-social proof in the room that I don't want to break the silence, but also I'm not even sure what I want the future of this organization to be. I mean, I don't know. This is too big a question for me to really answer now. Indeed, I'd really need some help answering that question. And so right now, the best I can do is just going to shrug my shoulders and say, I don't know, and leave my hands down. Whereas if someone said to me, do you want to be in this community in a year's time? Well, now I've got a yes, no that I can raise my hand to. And now at least I've started the journey of getting that person to think. The great thing, of course, and you'll probably be thinking this, is through a series of yes, no's, through a series of dots, I can lead someone to actually filling the container because I can lead them to a point where they understand the issues enough to now go, that's what I want. But that's a different conversation altogether. So 3 strategies: buttons, dots, containers. A little bit deep, a little bit technical, and I think I'll do better on the next video, but there we go. Enjoy. Let me know how you get on. Cheers.